Hello, everyone. I'm gonna wait a minute while we're loading. Do you know that there is a way for you to get a proper visa if you are working in conditions in a job that is unsafe or unfair or isn't treating you properly in some way? I want to go through some of those scenarios with you because so many people don't know about this option at all. And I think it's such an important option for you to have at your disposal. I know so many of my clients who are working as nannies or as domestic workers or were working in 7-Elevens or Dunkin' Donuts or any sort of convenience store or gas station or anything like that. And they have had the following take place. And because of that, they now qualify for what is called a T visa. So let me give you some examples. Let's say that you are working overtime and you were promised a certain pay, but then you're not getting it. Or you were told that you were only going to work for, 10, 15 hours and a week, and you ended up working 30 hours a week. Or you are supposed to be working only the day shift, but then you start working the night shift and you're not being compensated accordingly. All of those are possibilities for a T visa for you to qualify for a T visa. And a T visa is specifically for trafficking victims, but it can be for labor or for sexual trafficking. And I'm going to be talking about the labor trafficking right now because a lot of times it's not something that's talked about quite as much. For example, I have a client who came in from India and was contracted in a household to be a nanny and a domestic worker. And then when she came in, the woman who was employing her took her green card, her passport, and her visa, and all of her really important identifying documents and told her that she was going to keep them in a safe place for her. So she never saw them again, which essentially meant that she wasn't able to leave. And what happened after that was she was told that she was going to have her own room with her own bathroom and a separate area. That didn't happen. She ended up having to sit in a living room and a couch in the basement, and she never had her own privacy. She was working nonstop. She would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and then continue to work all the way up until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. But she was only compensated for about 5 hours a day. So the rest of that time was just free labor, essentially. She did backbreaking work. She did a lot of stuff that was outside of the job description. She was not told what she can and cannot do. She was not allowed to eat the food in the home. She had to bring her own food. She had to eat in a separate corner of the house. All of these things constituted a qualification for a T visa. And a lot of times, like I said, I tell this to people because it breaks my heart when people are working in these conditions and don't realize that they have another option. In this client's case, for example, she was so scared because she was so worried that she was going to get reported to immigration, or that she was going to be kind of put out on the street because she didn't have any identifying information anymore, that she couldn't get her passport back from this woman. She was told repeatedly that she was not going to have any other prospects, any sort of job prospects available to her. So all of these things constituted her working for this family for about 3 or 4 years unnecessarily, really, really laboring under this false conception that she was supposed to be getting, a really good job as a nanny, and instead she was essentially, an indentured servant, for lack of a better word. So those are things that could potentially happen to could be a potential scenario. Now that might be more of an extreme scenario. There are others as well, like if you were working in, like I said, in a 7-Eleven or in a regular convenience store. I say 7-Eleven, it doesn't mean that it has to be that, but something you were working in a way that you weren't originally contracted for. Or in some cases, you get into a relationship with somebody and you think that it's supposed to mean one thing, and then they actually are insisting that you work instead. We see this a lot with our VAWA cases because in VAWA cases, sometimes people will get married to somebody and then that person will then arrange for them to work at a friend's, local store or local business. And as a result, they will then get all the money that you are earning deposited into their account. So another example is I had one of my clients who actually did exactly that, got married to a woman and thought that he was just entering into this wonderful relationship. And instead, what she had done was she had arranged for him to work at a local convenience store and arranged for all of his paychecks to be directly deposited into her account. He never saw the money. He got about $20 or something randomly here and there for some basic items, but other than that, all the money was being deposited to his wife's account and was being split among these other people that she had contracted with. This is a huge problem, obviously, and the thing was that he didn't realize what he actually qualified for until he came into our office and actually talked to me. And I said, you actually qualify for a T visa based on this because you were being forced to work against your will. You never got any of the benefits of it. You were never able to get time off. You couldn't, you came into this country essentially based on this promise, which is an important element of it as well. And you continue to work based on a promise, on a false promise as well. So all of these things are things that we can discuss in a consultation, in a detailed consultation with our office. I urge you to give us a call at 630-504-0648. My name is Farah Kazi. I'm an attorney based in Chicago, but I handle clients all over the country. And I absolutely love working on these type of cases, and I love trying to help people solve their immigration issues in whatever way possible. So I'd love to do that for you too. Thanks so much, and goodbye.